December 14th, 2009. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, show 79.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Ten more than 69.
Yeah.
Live from Vault 101, it's Die Hard Gamer Radio. Starring your host, Murdock.
Hi there. You want to continue?
No,
That's all you got.
He's got nothing.
All right.
And the Vault 101 band with Jack Hanna.
Jack Hanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the guy who brings all the animals in on the Tonight Show.
The rad. Here's Rad Roaches here.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be locked in that vault.
Here's a death claw while I run to the chopper.
I think I'm scared of Jack Hanna.
The chopper.
All right. So, like Steve said, I am Murdock, and with me is John, Brian, and Steve. We've been kind of on and off for a while. I mean, John's been gone sometime, and then Brian's been
You
gone
having an
sometime.
on and off relationship with these two?
Yeah, I am.
Got back from being kidnapped.
Yes.
Huh.
And how
Found
was
the
it in your
chopper.
undisclosed location?
Got carpal tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Murdock just told your captors that he will find them and he will kill them. And
Did you
suddenly
get
it
a
was back.
hamburger when I got rescued.
Yeah.
So do we have anything to share before we start with this thing?
The list is pretty long. Let's
It's
move right into it
huge.
here, dude.
All right. So first
We've
up,
got a smaller font than usual.
well, like
Also, your IT department needs to change the toner cartridge in your
no, I
printer.
put it in 8-point.
Yeah, and
Let's try 12 next time.
it should still be
Maybe
darker.
16.
I have told you about our IT department on many occasions.
Well, you just need to know that before you need it, you ask for it.
All
Next
right.
time, print it in Comic Sans
Yes.
or
Yeah.
Papyrus. Either
Yes.
one.
I'll do it. I'll do in Zap Dingbats.
Yeah.
All right. So enough font talk. First up, buy the Saboteur used, pay for the nudity, which is awesome because we all love nudity.
Welcome to the adult world.
Mm-hmm.
You always pay for the nudity.
No, you don't.
Well, okay. I'm talking like when you go to the strip club. I'm not talking about porn on the net.
Oh,
That's not
that's a very different thing.
And technically, most people are paying for an internet connection, so in a roundabout way, you're still paying for it.
Well, you
But
are.
it's flat
but-
rate.
Yeah, it's a flat
Yeah.
rate. You can pull as much porn as you possibly could until,
The hard drive's full or your computer crashes.
or
Totally gets
Comcast
stopped.
decides to not give you any more bits.
Cap your, sorry.
Yeah, and
Yes.
since it's a sunk cost, you shouldn't consider it when deciding whether to download more boobies.
Okay, then.
There you have it. We approve of nudity. Oh, next.
So basically, this whole thing is that if you buy the game used, you don't get the boobies, and you'll have to pay extra Microsoft points for it. But if you buy the game new, you get the boobies. So I guess that's an incentive to not buy the game used.
Well,
I
it depends on
suppose
how much you
it's-
have to pay for the nudity, because if you're getting
It's
the game cheap enough,
400 Microsoft points, so $5.
well, yeah, but if you get the game for like $20, I'd pay
Well,
for the nudity, because that's still
You bring up
$25
you
cheaper.
bring up a good point.
Yeah, but is
'cause
the game any good?
That's beside the
I
point.
haven't heard it. Okay,
sounds
then.
My
like
argument
it's-
is sound, damn it!
It sounds like it's interesting but flawed.
Well, I mean, it's from a studio that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Does
That's
that
a
tells
bummer.
you anything?
well, I mean, it's Pandemic. It wasn't like Pandemic made crappy games or anything. It's just, I'm sure
Made
they.
some of my favorites,
they-
though not lately.
Well,
Well,
I'm sure
and
they didn't
not
have
ever
time
anymore.
to finish the game like they would have. So,
All right.
Yeah. And it's apparently bug ridden, which is always a bummer. but
Yep.
Expected from the circumstances.
indeed.
Yeah. Wonder who will get to make the patches for that.
Well, nobody. The downside to this seems that this is just inches away from the, buy a code in a box. which
Yeah.
I'm sure they're excited about doing. I'm less excited about buying.
You mean like
Well-
Sony's doing with PSP games.
Yipper.
Steam is already buy a code in an email.
Yeah. Don't
So-
buy things off Steam either.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
I don't have problems with Steam.
Not
Right.
now, you don't.
You
It's
can
kind
always
of the
download
point.
their media to disk
It's,
anyway. So.
yeah, but you're still going to need to
But it
actually
doesn't help.
authenticate to Steam. Steam
Yeah.
decides if they decide Steam is no longer profitable, you can kiss all your games
Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah,
Odds
Gabe.
are by that point, I'm going to beat most of the games anyways, and it won't matter.
Yeah,
so.
Gabe Newell is going to, you're going to find out that he's been embezzling from the company.
Yeah, such things never happen.
All right, so next up, another day, another game banned in Australia, which is
What?
This game is Aliens versus Predator this time around.
They just are not happy with anything that isn't
Well,
have
it's-
Barbie in
it-
it or some
Well,
shit.
it's
you know?
not
it's
everybody. It's that one of the 5 attorney
Yeah.
generals is
Yeah.
not happy with it.
Was it?
Well, and technically they
Somebody's
didn't ban
bucking
it.
for another year of.
They refused to give it classification.
well, it
Yeah.
fell outside classification, so it doesn't get classified. Therefore, it doesn't get sold.
That's the stupidest.
Well, it could be sold. It's just that they refuse to sell it.
Yeah.
They're not. There's no. The morality police are not going around to the Australian
this started-
EDs and beating people.
I remember when this started in Japan with the 0 rating too, and
And
a
what
lot of
does-
places said they wouldn't carry it, but some places were still carrying it. They just had it behind a closed door, and you had to
And-
ask for it, and they were.
Go back behind the curtain.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Gears of War was one of the first games like that? Games still sold well over there.
Well, it's
People
well
knew they could go
known
buy it.
that the Japanese are really skittish about locusts.
Everybody's got something.
By
So
the
it's a long-held cultural phobia.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad I haven't seen that porn out of Japan.
What's that?
Locust porn.
Really?
Yeah.
It exists.
Crap.
Just be glad you still haven't seen it.
The great thing about Rule 34 and Rule 35, somebody thinks of it, it will exist.
yeah,
Like magic.
Yep.
yeah. So, by the way, if you ever go to Japan, make sure to avoid any closed doors whenever possible. It's a good rule of thumb.
Make sure when you go to Japan, don't go with Murdock.
Well, I do plan on getting arrested in Japan when I do show up there. So
Huh.
For
probably
any particular reason or just for leering?
You running like
It'll be
guns
the
to
most
Japan?
polite
or what?
arrest you'll ever have.
yeah. Please come. Well, all you have to do is just walk through the jail cell. It's just paper. I mean, come on. All right. Next up, and this interests just Brian and I. The Dodon
I'm just interested in listening to you pronounce this shit.
Dodonpachi Dai Fukatsu
Yeah.
Oh,
Black
you're not
Label.
done yet.
and
Guange.
Guwange announced for XBLA.
That's
I-
actually 2 games and not just the longest title ever, right?
No, we've already done the longest title ever.
I had Gwange once, but a couple rounds of antibiotics and it cleared right up.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
That's stint in the
stay out of
Foreign
Africa,
Legion.
really.
Yeah,
Especially South Africa.
Amazon.
You done with the jokes there?
Nope.
Okay.
Got more where that came from.
All right. So Steve will be performing later tonight.
Do you know why he does this?
So I don't know if I know you're probably interested in Guwange, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
so 800. Well, it'll probably be 800 Microsoft points, but we'll see. Well, I don't know. Japan's XBLA games are actually pretty high dollar.
right,
They're
say
like 1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the original stuff is.
Yeah. By the way, Shadow Complex is 800 this. I think it's this week for
Oh, sweet.
XBLA.
On
Finally.
sale.
If you don't already have it,
I guess I'll buy it now.
I thought you
Yeah.
owned it.
Seems like
I
a
never
good time.
Okay. Yeah. So next up, Data East Arcade Classics. No Trio the Punch.
Thank God. I spent many a year on a arcade cabinet with Data East games. Bad dudes.
So I won't go through all the titles, but Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja,
Yeah.
Burger Time, and let's see what other ones are pretty
Heavy
well
Barrel.
known. Yeah, Heavy Barrel, Caveman Ninja.
Magical Drop 3.
Side pocket.
Well, you didn't play Side Pocket?
Oh, I did, and I don't understand why it's being resurrected.
And Two
Two
Crude
crude
Dudes.
dudes, yeah.
Ah, dear
Oh,
God.
good times.
So is there any of these we actually want them to re-release?
Well, Burger Time in 3D would be pretty awesome. But no,
Bad Dudes, Two Crude Dudes were fun. They were just your typical side-scrolling.
have you
beat-em-ups.
played Bad Dudes lately?
No, it's not very good.
No, yeah. It's very repetitive.
Don't mess with my memories.
It's like playing River City Ransom.
No, River City Ransom's a fun game.
No.
They
the
get
Mech Assault
re-released on the
level
DS
instead.
anyways.
It's a good game. It is.
Okay.
So, next up, more news for just Brian and I. 4 games confirmed from SNK for XBLA. The one that you're probably interested in, Brian, is probably Metal Slug Double X. Because I think you own everything else except for KOF Sky Stage.
Yeah,
Which
I'm
is
actually
the
looking forward to
shmup.
Sky Stage. It's kinda
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
kind of like...
It's gonna be up there with like Sengoku, but probably not as good.
Well, SNK's track record for shmups...
About 1 in 5.
Well, I can only think of 2.
And there's only about 10 or 11 on their arcade system. So
Yeah, Keegan will correct me on this one, I'm sure. So, next up, Logitech is rumored to be working on a UMD drive add-on for PSP Go, which is possibly the dumbest idea ever.
I got an idea. Why don't you just go buy a PSP 3000?
Well, at
Yeah.
least if they're going to make a failed accessory, they pick the right system to fail with.
Yeah, they're guaranteed failure there.
That way they won't have to make too many of them, won't have much backstock to get rid of when it all goes belly up. It'll work.
So, any opinion on this, Steve?
The PA comic was pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, next up, Dragon's Lair to be released on iPhone.
I'm kind of looking forward to that, actually.
Well, you think
It
the
looks pretty
timing is
funny.
bad on a joystick? Try it on a touchscreen.
I thought it'd be
I
kind
doubt
of.
it'll be a touchscreen. You'll probably be waving your goddamn iPhone all over the
Oh,
place.
that would suck.
Yeah, it also.
Oh, that would really suck.
Motion
You'd have to-
based.
oh man, I didn't even think about that.
I
Tilting
think that's
and
how the
tilting.
other flight sims work on the iPhone. So.
Yeah, but-
Oh, those fucking
Oh
fights.
yeah, speaking of, I just downloaded a flight sim for the iPhone. I haven't had a chance to try it, but
Oh.
Well, make sure you're on a crowded bus when you give it your first shot.
Well, that's the thing I always love about the flight sims on the iPhone is that like, oh, I need to eject some countermeasures, and you have to shake the whole damn phone. But shaking the phone turns your plane,
Ace Combat XI.
Oh.
Try it.
and so you're like you're shaking the plane and going off course and crashing into things while you're ejecting.
I just
That's-
always had an image of a dude sitting in a bus holding the phone in his lap there and shaking the thing up and down to launch his countermeasures while
Yeah.
everybody else stared at him.
Yeah, knocking
I
some
was
guy in
that
the head
dude.
next to him.
So my only comment was that if you thought the timing was bad on a joystick, on the iPhone, probably a lot worse. So you needed some pretty specific timing for that game.
Yep.
But $3.99, I think, is how much it's going to cost if you're interested. So news for possibly John, Yakuza 3 coming to US.
I actually skipped over the first two. I thought
Really?
about picking them up on the PS2, but they're kind of expensive. And they're
Really?
on the
Still?
PS2.
I think they were short printed.
Really?
The first one absolutely was.
So it will be in Japanese with English subtitles coming for the PS3. So
I
like
also don't
Gangster
have a
Sandbox
PS3,
games.
so it's hard to get excited
Yeah.
about it.
True
So
Crime looks pretty good. I saw the thing on the VGAs for it.
yeah, we're
Actually,
we're
looks
we're
pretty
getting to
smooth.
that. We're getting to the VGAs here. So any interest in Yakuza 3, even though you don't have a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 right now?
No,
Okay. You don't have any modern system, do you?
I've got a GameCube.
Really? Oh
Well,
yeah.
we said modern system.
I've got a pretty awesome PC.
Wow.
No, that's totally last gen now.
Yeah, you blew that wad 4 months ago.
Yeah,
Hey, you have that Trio the Punch game that I gave you.
yeah, I could play that
Yeah.
or
I have
not.
to pull out the iPhone.
That's kind of sad that the iPhone is your most current and most powerful game system that you have in your apartment right
I'm
now.
pretty
Steve.
sure my PC can
Yeah,
process better than my iPhone.
Yeah, but
And
your
it can show
PC can't make
Flash.
phone calls.
Sure, it can. You can install Stipe on it.
Can make good phone calls.
Well, it's on AT&T's network, so
No, well,
may
never mind.
or may not be able to make a good.
You're gonna
phone
fit
call.
right in.
I've really enjoyed watching AT&T and Verizon.
Oh
go
man,
at
those
it.
commercials are getting hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
I've been told by my management that I shouldn't be discussing those commercials. It's like people may come up to you and ask you about this, and I'm like, I don't work for that part of Verizon. I don't know
I
what
like
you're
the
talking
new
about.
the new AT&T one where he's showing both sides loading.
Oh,
The AT&T
God.
fish is loading, and the Verizon one stops at the shoulders, and it's walking around looking for its head.
I'm just waiting for him to come out with, AT&T is shit. It's like the next
Yeah.
commercial.
Droid says it's shit.
Oh, it'll get worse than that. They're going to be like, well, AT&T rapes and eats babies.
No. It'll be AT&T. Why has AT&T never...
Yeah.
What?
Never deny that AT&T did not rape and murder a young woman in 1990.
They're going to pull the Glenn Beck
Yeah,
thing.
Glenn Beck.
No, it's probably gonna be something about a woman might have been able to call the police so she could get a signal.
Yeah.
She blames AT&T.
They're gonna
so
do-
should you.
Her life might have been saved.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the woman on Verizon was browsing the web while being raped, so
Yeah.
she couldn't make a phone call.
Well, yes.
That's a
Yes.
million Amaro idea right there.
Yes. Yes.
Did you know you
yes.
can send text to 911?
There was a thing on Slashdot today about how the Nook has been hacked to run Android, just a plain old vanilla install of Android, and it doesn't kill the 3G connection that you buy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not gonna go well for Barnes and Noble.
No.
They
That's-
really needed to use a less standard
Oh,
form
something.
factor for their device.
That's awesome.
Yeah, something there.
That's excellent. So
Yeah.
next up, Mega
Barnes
Man.
and Noble goes bankrupt due to charges.
No, we're saving that for the next podcast.
Yeah.
So Mega Man 10, which will interest no one here because no one likes Mega Man, I would imagine.
I've never played one still.
Really?
I've
I
always
do
had
wanna see
somebody that
what
played it, but I
Sheepman
just
looks
never
like.
played one.
Never.
Sheep Man. Yeah.
You
Well, it
mean
looks
like-
like the sheep you turn into in World of
I've
Warcraft.
had no
when you
interest
sheep
in that
something.
game whatsoever.
Really?
I don't know what it is.
Ever since Mega Man 1, you've never played one?
Played
No.
Mega Man 2.
Well,
Mega
every-
Man 1 wasn't very good.
Well, Mega Man 2's like
Controls
awesome.
were not very good for Mega Man 1.
Ah,
For Mega Man 2, yeah, everybody fucking
I
played
think
Mega
there's
Man
just too
2.
many games out there like that I didn't need to play another one.
yeah.
And I didn't
Well-
start with Mega Man. I started with other games. So
The nice thing about Mega Man 2 was that, I don't remember Mega Man, but you could steal the people's powers that you defeated.
That's
Yeah.
every
That was-
single Mega Man.
All right.
Part of the form.
I don't remember the first one,
fucking Kirby.
honestly. Kirby's a little bit later.
And
He does it
Pinker.
with marshmallow goodness.
I don't like Marshmallow. Don't really like the
Well, man,
marshmallows.
you taste good.
There's
So
a
Kirby has a quickening every time.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Sucking up the heads of his enemies.
there's a VG Cats comic about
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure there
Yeah.
is.
Or Kirby sucks up a prostitute and he has like all these sores around his mouth.
Not VG Cats is VD Cats.
Oh.
Hey, VG Cat's actually updated for the first time in like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He actually had a comic. That's awesome.
he did.
It's an event.
It is, it really is. He used to update all the time, and now it's like every couple months you get it one. But when you get them and they're really long and they're like, he's bitching about the Left 4 Dead 2 AI, where he's like, Jesus, what's he
Yeah.
doing? Oh no, he's using his life back on me. I'm not interested. Stop it! Stop it! Oh damn it!
So next up, Sins of a Solar Empire Trinity set coming, which is a all-inclusive collection featuring, Sins of a Solar Empire, its first expansion, Entrenchment, and the upcoming Diplomacy expansion
Yeah.
on February 9th. And in addition to availability on StarDock's own Impulse digital distribution service, it will make its way on the shelves in the U.S. in something called a box.
So is this the we're sorry you never bought the thing, so here's our battle chest re-release?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, Diplomacy hasn't been released yet,
Yeah. See,
So-
there's at least something new there.
and it'll probably be pretty cheap because Sins of Solar Empire is not an expensive game.
It says
So-
$40 on here.
Yeah.
Which seems a little bit much.
Well, I mean, they're giving you an expansion.
For
You
a
could-
gold pack.
some places, some games, you buy an expansion and it costs you $30 just for the expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
but
the
Then
expand.
you wait for the battle chest thing to come out and it's $20 in the bargain bin over at Walmart.
Well, maybe so.
Or the expansion is more expensive than the base game, like say World of Warcraft.
Well, yeah.
The gold pack or gold edition is
Yeah.
always worth waiting for.
So, do you have any interest in this, Brian? I don't know if you've been playing Sins of a Solar
I
Empire
got burned
lately.
out on it when I first got it because I bought the first edition of it when it came out, but I got tired of spending 6 hours on a round.
Well, that's
And even
the
with
problem with
multiplayer,
that
it was
game.
like it took so long.
It's
with
not a
3 of us
short
even
game.
doing it.
Not in any way,
Yeah.
shape.
So-
You can't. This is not a casual.
Even after
playing
they added
game.
that 10-minute advance where you start off with all these things already built for you, and
It
still takes.
Well,
6
the
hours.
problem
It doesn't
isn't
save
building
you
up your
much.
forces. The problem is that it's the scale of the length
The
of the
scope
game
the game.
increases in a really high quick arc versus how many star systems are involved.
Yeah. Oh my
Once you
God.
get to like 8 star systems, it's 12 hours for that game.
You're talking 30 to 100 planets. It's
Well, I've
ridiculous.
30 to 100 planets, and you're never finishing that game.
Yeah.
And there's ridiculous maps that recreate like the Babylon 5's Galaxy and Star
Star
Trek and
Wars.
Star Wars, and they've got 400, 500 planets in them, and you're like, this game will never end.
It's like a chess game that you would play for 2 years.
Can you set the AI to play itself?
No, because then we wouldn't have nuclear war.
It'd be a stalemate.
But it'd all be busy anyway.
Well, maybe.
Just be
I don't know.
out playing video games.
We'd
never
have to
have time
install
for
it on the
war.
Whopper.
Yeah.
There's your obligatory War Games reference for the night.
Yep.
All right.
I've done my job.
So next up, this is a real
Oh,
thing.
I just have to say, ironically, then we would learn. We would have learned the same lesson that we learned by actually playing the game. Is the only way to win is not to play.
Yep.
Would you like to play a game? Because really, do you not want a life? Because then Sins of a Solar Empire is the game for you.
Yeah.
So next up, and
Those
like I
have
said,
learned nothing.
yeah, like I said, this is a real thing. Don't be nervous talking to girls is an actual indie games marketplace game for XBLA.
That's the only
I'll
place
check
it
it
would
out
be
for
good.
80 Microsoft points. This is something that I need to see.
Well, you
Well,
need
it's
a working
community game,
Xbox.
so you should be able to play it for a while before.
Oh, really?
You even give them any money.
All right.
Um,
I think it's worth it for the lulls.
See if you can get the call the police screen.
Oh, really?
well,
That's funny shit.
Well, okay, so for 80 Microsoft points, users can supposedly practice talking to girls in a dating sim manner. The game sports the tagline, "Are you nervous talking to girls? All you need is practice." Well, if you look at the screenshots of the game, one of the screenshots has a girl, and it's like, "Please go away or I will call the police."
Wow.
Does it actually use your mic?
No.
No.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That'd be pretty funny.
The
That
only
would be
screens
great.
I've seen have 2 dialogue choices.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. There's a background that the woman's in an amusement park, and there's a Ferris wheel in the background, and the 2 choices you have is, "Wow, that's a very large Ferris wheel," or "Greetings, I come from another planet." Well, if you talk to women,
number
it's
3,
not-
number
not-
and number 3 is stick it in pooper.
And while people might wish that the dialogue choices were printed on her tits, it doesn't work out that way.
No.
Well, I mean, you could, some goth girls
need
have
that
like maybe
second
tattoos. And,
They need that third choice where the person's just so nervous. They're like, "Wow, those are mighty big Ferris wheels you have."
So, hey, you want a corn dog? No, wrong answer. Oh.
You
You
want some
I'm about
stick
to
on a
lose my
stick?
mustard.
I mean, wait. Oh, wait, that is a thing.
You know what? You know what you should do once you get your Xbox back and pay the $1 to, play this game. You got to write up a FAQ on GameFAQs for it.
What not to
That'd
do.
be funny.
Actually, we should check and see if
This
there's
is-
already
this-
one
this is a-
made.
This is a difficult level.
All right, you're really gonna need.
The game's not out yet, is it?
Yes.
It is out.
Yeah, because it's just one of the indie games thing. It's a community game, so nobody knew it existed till it popped up on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it's,
was just, I didn't
it's
hear
right
about it
along
until I
the
read
lines of using your
Kotaku.
Xbox for shiatsu massage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of your clitoris.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then was it the new edition Bible on the indie game? So it's like,
You never know when you want to read your Bible on your Xbox.
or I could go to Barnes and Noble and look at it for
But you
free.
wouldn't have it on your Xbox.
Oh, or
How else are you going to prove to your parents that you get to own one?
no.
Well, yeah.
could steal the Gideon one from like a
Works down
hotel
to
room.
the
It won't get you a 360.
Okay, all right.
You're not getting the point of this whole.
All right. So we will review this game at a later time. Yes, no, maybe.
Oh yeah, there will be more.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
there will be
Okay,
more.
Steve will buy it, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
the graphics were okay.
Well, I need something to tide me over until Star Trek.
We're getting to that.
I know. I'm just saying. It's topic appropriate.
Okay.
Until you move on to another topic.
Okay, I'm moving on now. So, news from the pile of poop that was the Spike Video Game Awards. I did not watch it. I just basically stole all the news from
boy.
Kotaku.
The only reason to watch that was for the new games coming out, basically.
Yeah, which is I've got
which
the
were then
list right here.
conveniently linked on Kotaku the day after.
Yeah.
Well, during the live blog, the whole thing.
Well, yeah.
Like, really, you did
And the
that?
really smart companies just as soon as it went up,
Yeah,
people just went to their
yeah,
websites
yeah,
and there
yeah.
the demo was.
So, Batman Arkham Asylum 2. Gee, what a surprise!
Well, it's a
Looking for-
surprise they're releasing news about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to wait a year.
Yep.
Well, it'll probably take that long for it to come out, though.
Oh,
It'll
I mean, you
probably
can
take
announce
2 years for it to come out.
Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2, which I don't know if that interests anyone here.
I'm gonna buy the first one now. I think
That's
They were
what
supposed
the
to release
collection
the
pack, right?
special edition now
Okay.
that's got the added levels to it.
Well,
Although the added levels are supposed to be pretty shit. So
Well,
I'm actually
and-
not as upset about that as I used to be.
plus,
well, they weren't going to release it for the
apparently,
full price either. I think it was supposed to be
Force Unleashed
cheaper.
got really mixed reviews too. So
I think it depended on what system you got it on too, because I heard mixed things about that.
I don't know. After playing Red Faction, I went to play The Force Unleashed, and the most interesting thing about it, its physics system, seemed totally lame.
So another game, True Crime in Hong Kong, which you were
Kind
talking
of a
about.
conundrum.
True. Well, yeah. Did you see something on this game, Bri?
No,
Okay.
I haven't even heard of it.
All right. Medal of Honor, which I guess is a new Medal of Honor.
Oh, that might be the part of the show. I
No
read.
subtitle?
No. Just
Oh,
Med-
wait, yeah, True Crime. Yeah, it was just when I saw it, it was just advertised as True
Oh,
Crime.
okay.
They didn't really push the Hong Kong part, but yeah, I did see the demo for it. It looked pretty sweet, actually.
Hmm.
A little unrealistic, and there's certain
Yeah.
parts where the guy's on a bike and he jumps off the bike to get on the car and then kicks through the glass on the side. But
Well,
all in all, the game looked smooth and it did look like fun.
so
And
it's
I'm
fake
not big on soundbox games. but-
fake true crime.
Yeah.
well, if we
Well,
wanted
you're an undercover like John Woo type character that's breaking into the,
Yeah.
the
so
Hong
it's
Kong
Stranglehold
skybags
2.
and- Yeah, it's kind of like Yakuza and Hong
And if we
Kong.
wanted realism in video games, we'd be playing Don't Be Nervous Talking to Girls.
Apparently, it's not very realistic.
Well,
Or Madden?
yeah, that's realistic.
I still like Blitz the League, where you could get that uncomfortable itch and you could spread it around to other teams.
Now that's realistic.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember about that game is they had
The achievement.
there's an achievement on unpleasant itching, and you could spread if you played with other people on Xbox Live, you could spread it to other people.
Yeah.
But wasn't there also like an option there to buy horrors for the opposing team?
I think that's how
like,
you
the night before
initially
the game?
got it. I think is something or other like that. But yeah, it's like a chance that
yeah.
you were gonna
Let's
have
see.
an uncomfortable itching.
Deadliest Warrior, which I'm not sure what that is. Crackdown 2, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows what that is.
Oh yeah.
Spec Ops: The Line, which I never played any of the Spec Ops games. So, did anyone play any of those?
I think I played one on the PC. It was okay.
UFC Undisputed, which we're all for UFC games around here.
That game actually looks pretty good. I was watching it in motion. It looks physics wise, it looks really impressive.
They really captured the dynamics of the sweaty man humping.
Yeah, crotch punching,
Not as much the sweating, but
dick punching.
The amount of things you could do physically. It's kind of like the football.
No, that
games.
should
Every
be on
year-
Natal.
Every year
Yeah.
the games look much better, and this game has progressed over the last 3 years. It looks much better every year. So
Green Day Rock Band, which
Apparently, they're the second best band in existence.
yeah,
Right after the
Beatles
Beatles.
to Green Day. I don't know how.
really.
I think rock band's kind of following the same way the Guitar Hero did, where they're
Yeah.
just starting to grab bands.
We're
and make
getting to
mini
that.
games. So
And finally, Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, which I don't know if anyone has any interest in.
I still haven't tried any of the games yet. I gotta try one.
Is this based off the new relaunch one, or is this based off the old
Well,
Sands of
since
Time
the
one?
relaunch one didn't have an ending, it damn well better be a sequel to that.
Well, one could hope. So that's it, I guess, for the news. Now we have care or
Oh,
don't care.
Well, I do have to mention one of the things that the VGAs really hammered home. Video games are an industry that needs more PR people to do the talking for them.
Yeah.
There's a reason these people spend their lives behind computer screens. They don't need to be on television.
And this was sponsored by GameStop.
Either that or they all need to follow Snoop's lead and take at least 1 or 2 hits before they get up on
Yeah.
that stage.
Yeah, no kidding. So next up, we have Care or Don't Care, our yearly feature on things we either care or don't care about. So the Saboteur. Do we care or not care about that?
The art style looks gorgeous, but that's the only thing that's got me interested in it.
So nothing on, no interest in the game, just more of, well, it's pretty.
It looks like they've done some really interesting artistic direction for it all, but trying to get past the reviews for being a buggy piece of shit, I don't know.
Yep.
It's a tough call.
Any interest in it, Bry?
Not in the least. Say slightest too. So sleetest.
New words.
So, Brian, the next one I have on Care Don't Care, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I'm sure you have very little interest in that.
Kind of on the fence about it. You know, I own 3 and 4, but I haven't played them.
That movie looks like it'll be really good.
Yeah, it does look like an awesome
If the
movie.
progression goes correctly, you're gonna have 10 minutes of gameplay, and then you're done. You
Ah,
watch the rest of the movie.
well, that's after you install it on the hard drive.
It says, as Pacey says, he's convinced that Japanese people don't like to actually play their games. They like to be as passive as possible with their video gaming.
Yeah, that's not too far
That
from the
explains the
truth.
0 reading on a lot of things too.
Yeah. What? I have to interact? God damn it. I got things to do.
Oh yeah, and speaking about Japanese and having their handheld, Final Fantasy 13 got a 39 out of 40 in Famitsu.
Surprise.
I thought you were going to bring up guide mode.
No, oh, for what, Super Mario Brothers Wii?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that only kicks in if you suck at the same level for 8 times in a row, and it's like, hey, do you really need help with this level?
You
That's
can't
pretty
just press
sad.
a button.
Yeah, you press a button, it'll show you the.
Yeah, but can you press a button before you fail at it 8 times?
No,
Yeah,
then you wouldn't learn your lesson.
It's not monkey mode.
That seems kind of weird to me because, I mean, the people I would expect this to be aimed at, I would expect to give up before they failed 8 times.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Huh.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. So
I only care about Metal Gear Solid to the point where it gets Kojima to hopefully move along and make Zone of the Enders 3 already.
Good
Why
luck.
they're making too much damn money off of Metal Gear Solid.
My Zone of the Enders is still wrapped in plastic.
One or
I never
two
got
or
time to
both.
Probably both.
Well, you don't need to play one. It's a good game, but you don't need to play it. But you need to play 2.
Yeah, Brian and I have like a pack of games that are still in shrink wrap going, yeah, we really should play these at some point.
I just found an Xbox game that was still wrapped.
Which one?
Cyanide. I think I played it over at John's. I went and bought it. And I just never opened it. It was like, oh yeah, I'll get this game and set
All right.
it aside.
So next up, Command and Conquer 4, Tiberian Twilight. I'm sure
God, I hope they don't fuck this up. I really do.
Dude, it's going to have the same interface as Red Alert 3 will have.
They're changing it though.
Yeah,
They're
that's
talking
what
about
they
the
say.
way- yeah, that's what scares me. Is every time they say that, stupid things happen with the games.
They're
They
gonna
have to patch it and patch it and patch
Well-
it before I like it.
They need to make the damn thing zoom out.
Yeah.
You can't just be looking at a 9x9 or a 3x3 square of,
I'm not sure I
of
like
things.
the art style either. This one because I've seen some pics of it already, and it's looking really cartoony. I really liked Red Alert 3 Command and Conquer, the way the art style was, and I liked
the most recent one.
I liked the
Really?
way that looked,
Oh,
but I
well.
don't like as much as the way it played. So I wish they'd keep that and they just improve the gameplay and and give the zoom out ability, because who doesn't give you zoom out anymore?
Well, it's like playing a game from 1994.
It is, yeah.
And it's like,
and after
you
you've
know what?
played Supreme Commander and you go back to
Well,
another game and it's like,
If you've
Jesus,
played
why don't you
any
zoom?
any RTS from the last 10
Well,
years,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody does it now.
Yeah,
Why do you limit
it's
that shit?
absolutely ridiculous.
And if Supreme Commander can do it with 3,000 units on screen, there's no excuse why you can't do it with 20.
Well, Sins does the same damn thing. You know, you can layer so many ships in a star system that you can't actually see anything. You zoom in and your machine goes from all the effects. But you can zoom down to each individual ship, which is 3D rendered.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm sure that's a vital part of the gameplay.
It's pretty.
impressive.
Well, what's really cool is you have your little fighters from your aircraft carriers. You can zoom in on a squadron and you can follow the whole squadron while they do their little bombing runs.
Yeah.
So
It's
is
kind
it
of cool.
Any more awesome than it was in Homeworld?
Yes.
Okay.
In that it's incrementally awesome.
All right, then.
Thanks for clearing that up, Steve.
I guess.
So only Brian seems to have any interest in Command and Conquer 4. The other two of you just
It's a
don't-
conditional interest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for RTSs to be interesting again.
Well, time to get that copy of Herzog's Vi again.
Woo! Yeah, that one doesn't need to be any more interesting. That was already perfect.
So next up, Deus Ex 3. Does anyone have any interest in this?
Is this classified as Machina or?
You get the same people doing this, or what? I mean, not the same exact developers, I'm sure, but first game came out like
Yeah,
15
who's
years ago.
making it?
It was.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is an important thing.
Because I can't remember the designer's name off the top of my head, though. He's like one of the 3 famous ones or something.
Well, we don't
that
encourage
dude-
any type of research.
Like Carmack or.
You know, we do have
No.
internet access somewhere. I'm sure
Isn't
we
it
could
like-
use it.
Oh, Ellis or something.
I don't remember.
But whatever. The guy who did the Deus Ex stuff says he wants to do more of them and has been trying to get the rights back or something. So I wonder if he actually did, or if this is going to be trash put out by somebody else who doesn't care about it.
Oh, you mean kind of like what Interplay's doing with the Fallout MMO?
Well, they're just claiming they're making something because I'm sure they've got some VC capital on the hook or something, keeping them on life support.
Well, they just They just released their little. Fallout compilation pack, and they just got the injunction got turned down.
Yeah.
So today,
It's being repealed or
repealed?
not repealed.
Appealed.
Appealed.
appealed. Yeah.
That's
I'm sure it is, though. I mean, how ridiculous do you have of a legal department do you need so that you're suing somebody for distributing games that they made?
Well, didn't they buy all the rights to it, though?
What about the rights to the future? You can't buy some. They don't own the old Fallout games.
The originals, yeah.
They just own the rights to the concept.
Huh.
And the reason they sued is
So should they
because
get a
I
royalty
thought
then?
they owned. I
Well,
thought they owned at least more than that because there's also like the relicensing deal where Interplay now is licensing
Well-
for Bethesda the right to do the MMO. Or,
but the lawsuit was actually over the concern that they claimed in the lawsuit that since they were selling it on Steam or whatever, it would be too easy to confuse that product for Fallout 3.
oh yeah, wasn't there something weird about how they labeled it too? Oh yeah, they called it the Fallout Trilogy.
Yeah, or something.
Well, they called it the Fallout Trilogy, and it had like 1, 2, and Tactics or something.
Or something or other.
like that. So it was like.
So if you're
yeah.
well, I mean, if you're brain dead and you don't read what's in the box, I'm sure you'll be disappointed.
yeah.
Yep.
Then you can't take it back.
Yeah.
I've opened it.
So next up, Guild Wars 2. So Steve, any
We'll
interest
ask
in that?
Matt about it. I did like in though. There was the one time I played it about 2 years ago was during Christmas, and they had a fun little mini game where you had to run around and collect all these presents that would spawn different places. But if you didn't grab them fast enough, a Grinch came up and stole it and broke it. Pretty awesome. And he broke it like right in front of your eyes too. He'd pick it up and he'd tear apart the box and break it and run away.
That's
It's like that's pretty funny. And they changed the seasons depending on, so it was all like wintry and all the interstitial areas.
Nice.
But other than that,
You don't have any interest in Guild Wars?
the only good thing about Guild Wars is that you don't actually have to pay to play it every month. You buy the game and then you can just play it. So
And keep buying expansions if you're actually
if you want to,
playing it.
yes.
All right. So Battlefield 3. Steve, John,
What's the setting?
I don't know.
I read an article about it and didn't really strike me as anything interesting.
I
And
just
they've-
played Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising, and I was pretty impressed with that. I thought that was a really good game, especially team squad wise. It was right up there with like Ghost Recon.
So no interest in Battlefield 3 until we know what the
Don't
Don't know
setting
anything
is.
about it.
Well, it
Well,
could
I
be
mean, they've done
Vietnam, could be World War II, and I
Yeah.
think those are our only choices, aren't
No, they
they?
did Far Future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did.
Aren't they doing some other mini game thing? Where they're,
Battlefield
like, cartoon-
2051 or whatever. that one.
2142.
Did they just do one where you had like cartoon war characters?
Yeah, that was the Battlefield Heroes one. That was
Yeah.
the free to play, and they recently changed the pricing structure on and got all their bad press out of that.
Okay.
was that the one that they said, if you got a certain amount of experience points, and you could buy these
No,
weapons?
that was Modern Warfare 2.
Or was that Modern Warfare? Okay.
No, it was Battlefield Heroes did that too because it was a
Alright.
free to play
No, this used.
massive action game, and as you played it, you earned points that you could trade in to buy stuff in the game.
Yeah, but they did it for Modern Warfare just like this last week too, for Modern Warfare 2.
Well, there was one where you got like a bunch of experience points, and then you can get all these weapons, but then they're like, well,
Yeah, that's Battlefield Heroes because you could also pay money to get the same thing.
but then they decided that we're not making any money by people getting experience, so we're just going to make the stuff that people could buy with experience and have them pay money for it.
Yeah.
Well, it was already like that. It's just they made it much more expensive to buy the things with experience points instead of with money.
Yeah, they did it with Modern Warfare 2
Like using
last week.
Sony rewards.
Well, no, but you
points.
can't spend money to
Yeah,
buy
you can.
stuff in Modern Warfare 2.
Yes, you can. Now
Actual
you can.
real dollars.
Actual real dollars.
Okay.
You can spend Microsoft points or whatever the hell it is on now.
In
For it.
which possible way you
Okay.
can squeeze money out of
Yes.
the consumer.
Well, it's once and your reaction is exactly what everybody else had. It says, "Well, that sounds like a really dumb idea," but considering what you've done with Modern Warfare 2, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah.
So next up, Halo Reach around. Any interest in Halo
I
Reach?
still haven't even played ODST, so
I didn't even know you bought it.
I haven't.
There's
That's what I
no-
mean. That's why I haven't played it.
There's pretty much no information about it yet, other than
Oh.
a trailer.
I get on 360 and people are like, "Hey, you want to come play with me?" I'm like, "I don't even own the game."
Did anyone buy ODST?
I did not, because it was so multiplayer centric that I really
Yeah.
didn't care.
That's
It'll
really
be,
with the idea
a
behind it.
fine $15 purchase in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's kind of Borderlands. Borderlands is so
we're
multiplayer
gonna have to
centric.
all
that,
buy
yeah.
it together or something.
By the way, I've been meaning to ask you, John, about Borderlands.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Is it?
We
I've
played
been
through.
playing it for about 3 weeks.
We played through the whole campaign. Played through the DLC as a co-op game. I mean, it's Diablo with guns, but the formula still works in co-op.
What about single player?
I bet it would be more boring.
Yeah,
It's not really geared towards single player.
It is a game designed from the ground up for co-op play.
It's sort of like what you call it. It's like Left 4 Dead. Yeah, you can play one player, but why?
I played it 2-3 rounds where I just went through levels and it was okay, but it's boring in that sense because it's not meant for you to play alone. You can do it; they give you the option, but it really isn't meant to be that way. You want to get 2, 3, 4 friends or 4 people together playing together because it just makes it so much better.
And if there's nobody there to see the fat loot you just stole out from under their
Yeah.
nose, it's really not any fun.
So, but you can play cooperatively, right? You can
Yes.
work
Well,
together
yeah,
as
that's
a
what the
team.
whole point of it is. It's
You don't have to like be,
It's
stealing
Diablo.
loots from. Okay, all right.
You still like I play with a friend of mine every couple of nights or so, and we just go through, find a bunch of weapons. We'll go pile them all up together, find out who wants what and what's best, and then we'll sell the rest.
So, if I bought Borderlands, would I enjoy it?
Well, only
I mean,
you can
I
answer
did-
that question.
I don't
well-
know because you don't like FPS games.
Well,
It
I
really
played through
is
Fallout
FPS
though.
designed.
I mean, is it
Well,
not-
but
not
Fallout
like
is a RPG that happens
This is
to have
more
first
of an
person.
FPS.
And-
it's
and
the other
there's
side of the.
Not a ton of story tying it together. Although one good thing I will say for it, it has a sense of humor. And
Yeah.
it pulls it off well.
Okay.
But if you're just playing it alone, single player, you'd be grinding through a lot of identical monsters to get to those bits of story.
Yeah, I
You
could play
discover
Final
later on
Fantasy
from
if
a
I want to do
claptrap
that.
You're just a meatbag.
All right. So next up, if for care or don't care, Band Hero, which we can also
It's
talk
the
about
Fisher Price version of
yeah,
Rock Band.
Yeah.
We can also talk about rhythm and plastic instrument accessory games in general because
I haven't played a band I haven't played a Guitar Hero game or Band Hero, Band Tour, Guitar Tour, whatever since I got Rock Band. It just nothing seems like it's as much fun as Rock Band is.
I haven't really played any of them since Guitar Hero 2.
Well,
I mean, by
Guitar
the
Hero-
time Rock Band
well-
came out, I was already kind of
In
waning.
terms of multiplayer, Rock Band 2 is pretty much the pinnacle of it. But in terms of like the single player ones, the Rock Band Rocks the 80s one was
You mean
as
Guitar
good.
Hero,
Guitar Hero Rocks
80s
the 80s.
Encore.
No,
So
no.
The last,
It was Rocks the 80s or
the,
whatever.
the
the hell
last
it was.
Guitar
okay,
Hero
I
that
tried that
Harmonix did.
Yes. And it was
Okay.
yeah, that one it was much better than 3. And it was just a little bit better than 2. I
I
thought.
never bought 3 because I just heard it was such a big letdown.
Well,
Just
it
1 and
it was
2 are
no
good.
longer they screwed the difficulty entirely. You know,
Yeah.
they just made songs
They
more
just made
difficult to
notes.
play.
They
Yeah, it's
weren't there.
more things to
Yeah.
click on. It had nothing to do with being more accurate or anything like that. It's like, oh, this sucks.
I do have to say out all of this though. When I was over at Best Buy and playing with DJ Hero, I actually felt a little bit of the old magic.
It does look like fun. I haven't
DJ
played it
Hero's
yet.
been really kind of weird because that game has not been doing well.
Which is why I'm totally
It's had very
excited about the
mixed reviews.
possibility of being able to buy it for cheap soon.
Well,
Plus
didn't the
there's
price
downloadable
already
content
didn't the
for it,
price
too.
already drop on DJ Hero?
Well, yeah, but it was like $200 to begin with. So
Well, Amazon
That's
just had
the
the.
expanded version with its own turntable, though. There's a $150 version you can get with just
No,
its.
it's only
or $100.
120, I think. It's like
Yeah, I
110
think you're
or
right. I think it's
120
like
for the base
120.
one, and it was like 190.
Oh,
I
why would
think,
you wanna
for
play
the
it
with-
upgraded one?
why would
Although
you want to
Amazon
play it
had
without the
that up today
turntable?
for 40% off. No, they all have the turntable.
They dropped it.
The expanded one had like a case that the turntable went in and a
Oh.
stand that came up underneath it and like gold plating on stuff.
Amazon did that
It
as
was
a gold
blinked.
deal
I
like
see.
2 weeks ago, but it was only 25% off, so it must not have sold well enough, and they had to reissue it.
What was their? They're doing that like 18 days of Christmas thing, so it was like a lightning deal in the middle of the day that lasted for all the 6 hours. And
Okay.
even then, I think they only sold like 10% of the allotment or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll
The
go on
game's
sale
crashing
again.
and burning.
It's too
It's
bad.
it's doing better in other markets than the U.S., but overall,
Europe.
it's not doing very well.
You
It's
know,
doing a
the
lot
only
better
thing I
in
didn't
Europe
like
than it
about
is
it
here.
is the controller just feels too plasticky. It's too light.
I really had fun playing at Best Buy. I'm thinking about buying it, and it's the first rhythm game I've wanted to do that in years.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It looks
But
cool, and
are
I
you-
watched
are
a
you-
guy play it. At,
But are you going to wait until the price goes
Oh,
down?
fuck yeah.
No. So you want it, but just not
I
at
want
its
it out of
current
a
price
bargain
point.
bin.
Yeah.
He'll buy it at the same time he buys Tony Hawk Ride.
I would pay $100 for it with the stand, but just for it by itself, 120 seems too much.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Amazon deal they had today, so I guess I'll email you when next time they have that sale.
Yeah, that actually
And
was pretty
Steve, do you still
reasonable.
have interest in this game? Because you were just you had this weird interest in DJ Hero.
I think my major problem with the game is that it only has one turntable to it. It really should have had 2.
The
And
fader kind of makes it work, though.
yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, doesn't really do it for me. Especially considering that there's actual like integrated turntables. They're not great, but there's integrated turntables that have 2 control surfaces in them that cost about $200. So if you make them, plastic and then whatever, it really should be at a price point that they could make it at.
I don't think most people could handle 2 turntables. Honestly, trying to
Well,
get used to the
there's a
one.
lot of people that can't handle Guitar Hero either, but they still played it.
I'm just saying, your market is really limited anyways with one turntable. You put 2 on there, you're really going to limit it.
I wonder if they have like a 2-player mode for
They-
DJ Hero.
The greatest thing I heard on Kotaku was they should have made this a better party game by integrating it with a dance pad. You pay $300 for it, and you have people that
DDR pad out front.
DDR pads, and you have 1 or 2 DDR pads plus the guy who's making it, and the people have to dance in rhythm to what you're playing for everybody to actually do it. And I'm like, now that would have been a really good idea.
Yeah.
Because all they did is you can do the guitar, and the DJ
Yeah.
thing, I think, is a 2-player.
Eh.
I'm just wondering, because if they have a 2-player with 2 turntables, then there's probably like a Beat Mania
don't-
kind of craziness.
I
where you
don't-
can have 2.
I don't think you can.
I don't think it was designed for 2-player in mind.
Yeah.
It all
Well, that
just
was part
solid
of the
one
complaints
player.
about it. Is that it was very it wasn't a very good party game because it was very one.
That
Person
How many
might be
DJs do
why
you ever
I'm
have at a party,
excited
though?
about it again, though, too.
Well, I'm sure that when it drops down to $19.99,
And I need to get an Amazon Deal of the Day app for my iPhone because I got a Woot app on there now, and I'm able to check it daily and just on the fly. But I just don't think about Amazon all the time.
Wootalizer. You can go there and they'll send you email alerts for all of the various deal sites.
Cool.
Ah.
Okay. Huh.
So that's it for Care or Don't Care. Not much love for Band Hero or any other plastic instrument-based video game. So next up, John gave us this topic on where and how we do our holiday video game shopping. So what was this about? Are you just wanting to know where we do our shopping or how we do it?
Well, it's time all the deals come up.
Amazon.com, that's where and how.
That's it. That's the begin and
Sure isn't a GameStop this year.
Oh, dear God.
They have nothing for deals.
because Cheap Ass has been a great site for keeping on top of all that stuff. But I still find myself checking out the Amazon video game deal of the day every day. Because that one, I mean, they don't make that one real obvious, but sometimes it's a good deal, and it doesn't always. If it's not one of the top 10 AAA titles, it doesn't show up in the news listings on the other deal sites.
Well, ever since Rayplay was removed from Amazon.
Did it make it back on there later?
I don't know.
I could check.
I
Could.
See if we can.
Once again, we
find
don't
Rayplay
encourage
now.
research on this podcast.
Yeah. But I don't really do a lot of Christmas shopping. I'm not a big fan of Christmas, and
But there's still a lot of good deals right now. I mean,
That's true.
GameFly has had some consistently good used game deals, like every day.
Huh. But
And,
there are also, I mean, in looking at the games that are out and that I want, there really isn't a lot that I want right now. And
Oh,
the
yeah, well,
stuff that's
but-
coming out doesn't come out till next year.
But the great thing about right now is I've been getting great deals on the stuff that came out last Christmas.
Yeah.
This has totally been the chance to pick that shit up for $10.
Yeah, you can get that Prinny game you've been looking for. Or did you find it finally?
Which one?
Prinny, I Want to Be the Hero.
Oh, no, I haven't bought that one yet.
Mm.
It's still up there. I don't know. I also haven't been playing my PSP at all because I haven't been traveling, so
Ah.
it makes me think about it less.
So any shopping, Steve, or
My video game purchases are sporadic and unpredictable. They have really nothing to do with what season or what holiday or anything.
Yeah.
Do the sales matter at all?
Nope.
Just decide
I
you
like
want
it cheaper. If I'm shopping and I see something cheap and it's like, hey, I remember wanting this game, then I will very likely purchase it. But other than that, I rarely go looking for games.
I just look through the ads that come in the Sunday paper and then the stuff online for what's
Yeah.
being advertised for the next
I'll-
week. And if I don't see something in there, then you check the normal websites online too. But Amazon's normally the better deal for most things.
yeah.
And Cheap Ass Gamer advertises, and Kotaku and other sites will also pull from their site and make notes, so you can get linked to that pretty easily and see what's going
Yeah.
on sale.
Yeah, Amazon's pretty much where I go for a majority of stuff that I have to do over the interwebs.
Kotaku's been doing a weekly thing too on what's being advertised. They kind of do a little conglomerate thing, saying here's the best deal for this and this and this.
But
and
aren't
they'll put,
those
like, 10
paid
or 12.
advertisements that they do that?
No, it's just an article they throw up of what they find to be the cheapest
Ah,
out of like 10 games for the week, and they think people are going to be buying. So they'll put the deals up there. It's such a quick little read through of what's for sale, and it just lists all the different places they're for sale. So it could be online sites or big box stores.
So speaking about holiday video gaming and everything, is there any specific game that you want for Christmas, young boys?
Do I have to sit on your lap?
You fit on his lap.
You don't have to. So any particular game, John, that's on your Christmas list?
Are you
Well,
sitting in line in front of Satan?
If I got to buy myself a Christmas video game, it would probably be AC2, because otherwise I'm going to be waiting.
Asheron's Call 2?
No,
yeah, right.
no, the good AC2.
It really, really disturbs me every time someone says AC2 because I have no association with Assassin's Creed 2 to AC2.
I was like Anderson Cooper too.
Yeah,
Is that a
it's
game?
Armor Class 2.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
really ticked off about the special the pack-in stuff that we got with ours versus what was being offered in other countries.
Oh,
I was like, man, they're getting some cool shit over in Europe, and even Japan had a great pack-in setup. Ours, whatever.
Promotional stuff is just getting weird.
Yeah, wait
It's
till I
weird to a
talk about
point,
the
but this is
promotional
one of
stuff for
those-
Star Trek.
This is
Oh.
one of those cool things, though, where you got an action figure. You know, you had a cool design figure.
Well, they're trying to get people to actually buy the game in those countries. They know
Yeah.
Americans will buy the game.
That may be it too. It's kind of sad, but I wanted to buy an import version just to get the cool stuff with it, and I
So,
finally just decided against it. But it just ticked me off that we just don't get that offered to us. Too.
So, Steve, any game you want for Christmas?
Yeah, I want Derp Derp Revolution.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
And what's the plastic add-on you use for this game?
Murder.
Derp Revolution.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know how I would do a Photoshop of that.
Yeah, you get the dog.
I should do a Google image search for derp and see what it comes
Yeah,
up with.
it's gonna be the dog.
Oh,
It's gonna be the dog that started that whole meme.
okay. So, Brian,
In
any-
other words, no.
Yeah.
Not really anything you want.
No, I don't think so.
A
Considering
working 360.
That's
maybe?
working 360. I actually might end up buying one next week. Go get an arcade with an HDMI port on it and swap the hard drives in.
The
Oh,
exception of maybe Assassin's Creed 2. I've kind of bought everything that I want.
yeah,
Shinigami-sama came out, and I just picked up Pixel Junk Shooter on the PS3.
yeah.
I thought that was a lot of fun.
I mean, there's maybe one or two import games that's coming out, but
I'm more excited about live games, really. There's more cool live games that have been coming out lately. I just got Defense Turret, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Ah.
Twist on the tower defense game
Or Defense Grid.
or Defense Grid. You want to call it turret because you build all these turrets, but yeah, it was well done. I thought that was a lot of fun to play.
So next up, well, I've got a few things. Now, you picked up what Pixel Junk Shooter, Bri? I
Yeah,
mean,
for
is
the
it any
PS3.
good?
I think it actually kind of is. It's kind of unique. It's a real simple puzzle shooter. I mean, you go through playing as a shmup, but you learn to use water and steam and lava. Use one to get the other. Like water burns the or causes the lava to solidify, and lava burns the water, and you got to dig through. And once you get water on lava and you make a solid, then you can shoot the solid and get to the bottom and find
Oh,
diamonds
okay.
and rescue individuals.
How much is the game?
I think it was $9.99.
Okay.
It was
'Cause
totally worth $9.99.
The only game that I picked up on PS3 was that they were running a special, and for $4.99 they were selling flour. So I picked that up
Yeah,
for $4.99.
That's totally worth $4.99.
Yeah, and it was like, well, this is kind of an interesting game, but the 6-axis control really sucks.
Yeah, I bought it when it first came out.
Ah.
I think I paid the full $9.99 though.
Let me tell you about 6-axis. Well, actually, I don't want to get into that. Also, I have some quick Gran Turismo 5 news for Bri. Apparently, if you buy the PSP version or GT5 Prologue,
Done.
well, when you play those, you can carry over all the stuff you've unlocked
There was
into
a rumor
GT5.
about that originally. They said they wouldn't let anybody
Well-
know right away, but I bought the PSP version.
But did you buy the Prologue for the
Oh,
PSP?
God, no. I'm not gonna pay $40 for a demo.
Pretty much.
I do remember there was that one article on Kotaku talking about the retail failures in Japan, and I was surprised to see the PSP Gran Turismo on that list. Apparently, it just didn't sell
It
as well
didn't
as
do
they
as well.
expected it to.
You know, the control is just not as much there. Granted, I've got a first generation PSP too, so I haven't gotten the better and the new control versus the old.
Now,
So I
I
don't know
thought
how
you
much
liked
it's
playing with the
improved.
D-pad anyway.
I do, but it's not as precise from what I've read. It's not as precise on the 1000 series as it is on the 2 and 3.
Now, do you have a steering wheel controller?
No,
Are you going to get one?
no.
Okay.
I've tried it with probably half a dozen steering wheels. I just don't like steering wheels in driving games. They can't simulate the force feedback correctly. When you go off the side of a road, you should feel that you got off the side of the road, and there should be enough to pull you back on. But too many times you go off and you turn so hard, you overcorrect and you shoot off the other side of the road. And you don't feel like you're driving. It's not realistic.
That makes sense.
And
Did
it
you ever
totally
get to try
ruins the game.
that $200 Logitech wheel that everybody said was like the best force feedback thing for GT4?
I don't think so. I think I kind of gave up before that point. Somebody did give me a 360 wheel for Forza, which I haven't tried.
Did you pick up Forza 3?
No, a buddy of mine just had it and he was getting rid of it, so he gave it to me.
Ah.
And the funny thing is, those steering wheels just don't have that much of a trade-in value. Most places won't even take them
Yeah.
anymore because they get one or two and they can't get rid of them. So all of a
That's
sudden,
too
it's worth
special.
nothing. Yeah,
You really should use the Steel Battalion controller for Forza.
that would be freaking awesome. I just pulled that out a couple months ago and put it on my coffee table, and I've been playing it off and on. I forgot how much fun that game was.
Only if you get to walk around in the VT in Forza too.
Crush the other cars.
So, next up, it's Steve's Star Trek Pontification, Episode 5, The Q Cheese Continuum.
Yep.
What was this about Star Trek pack-ins?
Well, first
Oh, boy.
the release date, the release date that's actually at GameStop now.
Time for
So
it.
apparently, there's some sort of almost solidity to this release date because it's actually being advertised in GameStop stores now is February 2nd.
That's
Do you believe that date?
soon.
It looks like the progress they've been showing in the demos has been fairly impressive.
Have they had a closed beta yet with any
Yes.
information leaking? So people
No
are
information
playing it?
leaking, but their
They
people are
built
playing it.
They built this thing from the ground up within a year.
Well, they didn't need to
very
buy. They didn't
quickly.
need
I
to
mean,
write
it
the
was-
engine. Is why they could worry just on content. They're
Yeah.
using the what the hell do they call that?
And so a year is a short timeline for making your average single-player game.
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of pressure for them to get this done and do it well. So I think they put a lot of people and a lot of time into it.
yeah. I
They
know.
better have been
We'll
able
see.
to recycle some of the old content. if they're
Well,
actually
one
doing
one
that.
should hope. Maybe they were able to recycle like the dynamics of it, and not necessarily the
Like all the
art.
quest writing or something.
Yeah, something or other.
because I don't.
The
That, that's
in-game
a
battle
scary
sequences
timeline.
look pretty impressive, though. It
Yeah,
looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, functionally it seems to be somewhat interesting. Pack-ins are really, really weird. I've seen a whole bunch of different pack-ins depending on where you're getting it from, but they're giving you like
Is
if you-
anything like the new Star Wars movie pack-ins? There was like 12 different offerings.
yeah.
before
I
it
mean,
came
there
out.
just seems to be a lot of different ones depending on where you order from. The GameStop one is you get a Constitution class ship and the
Yeah.
old series uniforms or something. But like there's some other stuff that's kind of like I can't remember exactly what they were, but I remember thinking these seem to be once again those type of pack-ins or pre-order things that give people that pre-order an advantage over people that don't pre-order.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
And you-
GameStop's always about the downloadable content for the game itself. They don't really do as much with packing items
Yeah,
themselves.
but GameStop's not the only people that are doing that because Best Buy's doing that. They have
Right,
like
they're
a
doing all s-
completely different thing
Well,
for.
they did the same thing with
It-
Gears
it
of War
just-
2.
it
There was
makes-
multiple download.
I don't
things.
enjoy pack-ins, and I realize that the pack-ins really only affect like the first 10 levels of an MMO when you have that. But it seems really weird to me, and it always has, to give people items that give you an advantage just because you pre-ordered.
Yeah, it's an unfair advantage.
Especially
and
when
unnecessary.
They just really, really, really want you to pre.
I know. I mean, they really desperately do, and it really kind of annoys me.
Well,
that
most
they
of
do
the pre-order stuff I've seen in the past hasn't been about advantage. It's just like
Right, it's some
you get a
little patch or
gold-plated
something,
weapon
or
something,
yeah.
and it's like, ooh, wow, you got
Well,
the
but
gold-plated gun.
The MMO stuff they've done, because with the MMO stuff, it's an inherently unfair experience. So they can do things like, here's the ring of plus 2% experience.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and
Single player games, they can't do that without breaking the game.
yeah.
the well, like in Warhammer, you got a certain buffed item or whatever, but then you got like the little camp thing or whatever it was that you got with one of the Warhammer pre-orders, which really kind of struck me as weird. Like you could construct a camp later on in the game, but if you got the pre-order, you could do it right away. What? So, but yeah, kind of annoys me.
So, Steve, is a Star Trek Day One purchase for you?
Well, I'm kind of.
Is there gonna be a demo out?
Oh no.
Yeah,
MMOs do demos like 3 years after they come out.
yeah. That's one pattern I'm noticing lately. I'm just not liking is there's less and less demos for games coming out. You
there's-
don't get to try the demo
well,
until the game's already out.
There's never been
or
demos for
after.
MMOs, but like it's like now it's until like next year, you can play Warhammer for free up until level 10 or something, and you've been able to play them.
Just did that too.
Yeah, I think Conan's going to a free model eventually. And Warhammer or World of Warcraft, you can play for up until level 10 or 20 for free or something like that.
What?
Yeah, you can play. You get the demo and you download it, and then as you're playing, it trickle downloads the rest of the game. So once you get to that level, and you have to buy it, then you've already got the game on your machine, and you just put in your credit card number and you keep playing. And then, Dungeons and Dragons is free now, so I don't know how many people actually play Dungeons and Dragons.
No, it's free when there's so few people
Yeah.
playing it. Costs nothing to keep a server going.
But I don't know. On one hand, I'd like to get like the Constitution class ship and everything, but on the other hand, I mean, playing day one in an MMO is just, I mean, it's just
Disaster.
yeah. I mean,
You won't be getting on for a couple hours.
well. I mean, even if you're getting on whatever server, because these days usually launches actually go okay in terms of being able to play. It's just that week
There's
2 is going to have a
bugs.
giant patch that's going to fix all the stuff that's pissing you off on day 1. And so why don't I just wait every week for?
What do you mean this thing's 8 megs?
Yeah, 8 megs.
Or 8 gigs.
Yeah. Well, that's the downloads for even if you have like I've got I downloaded the Burning Crusade thing for WoW because I couldn't find my discs for Burning Crusade or they were scratched or something, and it was like a 9 gig download, torrent download to get the client, which was the integrated client with the original game. But then it was like another 5 gigs of download of updates after that. I'm like, roll these together, buddies.
I think I pull at least every 3 months. I pull a patch for Company of Heroes that's got to be over a gig.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how big some of them are, and it's just an RTS.
Still not as bad as Lineage though. That was absolutely ridiculous. It was like 12 hours to get all the updates.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
It was a long ass time, and that was with
I
the.
hate games that don't allow you to patch from beginning to end in one patch or within a couple of patches. I hate where they do that with Company of Heroes, where if you have to go back and reinstall it, you got to patch from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4
At
to
least for all
5.
the MMOs, it's just
ridiculous.
launch the client and
And let it, well,
Yeah.
run in the background. Patch, please.
Yeah.
Well, the
But it's all one patch.
the Lineage one the pack I bought had the 5 expansions in it, and it was still a ridiculous number of hours to get the updates for it. Like, I didn't play the game until like 2 days later.
Really?
And then I played it for about 2 hours and said, "Well, this is a really bad MMO. I must need to be Korean to want to play this game."
I guess.
And really, would you be any worse off if you'd waited 2 years to play WoW? I mean, there just
No.
would have been that much more stuff.
Yeah.
Is it that easy to hop in after 2 years?
Well, after 2 years it was. After 5 years, there's some debate as to how great of a game it is
seems
for
like
newbies.
It's going on the decline in that
Well,
sense, where you can't get as many new people
It's
involved.
conjectured that Blizzard has a set amount of time that they want you to be able to play before you get from 1 to the top level. And so as they increase the level cap, they make things easier to get through in the lower levels because they're obviously not going to
Well, I get
add
burned
a
out trying
damn
to get those
thing.
First levels, yeah.
Well, and they had to do it for a couple of reasons too. Between levels 40 and like 60 when Burning Crusade didn't come out is the grindiest damn thing. And I mean, I've played some damn grindy games, and that was a pretty grindy experience. And so what they do is they make mobs give you more experience, and they decrease the space between levels and that sort of thing. So you end up getting there at the same time. But I mean, really, there's nothing in the end game for WoW. I mean, do you like raiding? Because that's what you're gonna do, and that's it. So, do you have a guild? Well, you better hope you have one because you can't do anything.
Find one.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do anything really useful in the end game without a guild. So,
Bring your fried chicken.
yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy waiting all of 2 hours for the rest of your 25-man party to come do the raid. So,
Could play with Angry John.
it's not as bad as Final Fantasy 11, but
Oh yeah, that's one. There are a few games like I want to come to think of it. Ultimate Alliance 2 came out a while back. I've been meaning to pick that up. Funny you say that.
Yeah.
It seems like the games I really wanted aren't on sale or had enough of a sale to make me want to buy them now. It seems like a shitty season, to be honest with you. Sales wise, it's just nobody.
Well, just the games you want.
Yeah,
There's plenty of games that you don't want that are on sale right
that's
now.
the problem, and they're games I don't want. I didn't have this problem last year.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Imagine babysitting for the DS is probably on special, but I'm sure you don't want that. Well, I don't know. You do?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Oh,
is that a Pedo Bear game?
no.
Oh,
Might need to wait for the demo though.
oh,
So, Our next episode of the Star Trek Pontification from Steve is the Best of Both Cheeses Part 1. Trying to be creative with the titles here.
Yeah.
Not working out too well, I see.
Well, you're going to run out pretty soon. It's a good thing the game's going to come out in a couple months because
To be
there's only so many Q episodes that existed.
Well,
continued.
so, bad pun there. So, Steve.
Yeah.
How's Huxley coming along?
I remember when that game was announced. Was it 4 years ago?
I think it was longer than that.
No, it was like supposed to be an Xbox 360 game.
It
Well,
was gonna be. It was the first of many 360 MMO announcements.
Oh, it's
which
huge.
Yeah.
And there's such a
none of
push
which
for it.
have
Yeah.
come true.
No,
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
It's an MMO.
You've got a whole population of people that are already connected to the internet, to your gaming service, that like to play games, and you're not putting out any sort of games where they can all play in one big world together.
Yeah.
It's the worst marketing decision since, the
Sony's
PlayStation
doing
3.
that. Yeah.
the MMO FPS.
Yeah,
So-
it was called what was the name of that one? The one that Garriott did.
Oh, well, you mean Tabula Rasa?
Yeah, it was called Tabula Rasa, and it was a pretty awesome game. And then,
Then they shit canned
well,
it like
then
2 years later.
Garriott went up to the space station, and while he was up there, they shut the game down.
Yeah.
Literally.
Just
Nothing he
leave the
could do about
planet
it.
just
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, you leave the planet, you leave before orbit just once, and your company shit cans your game.
That's excellent. So,
Yeah, Lord Brish is like, I'm never leaving the planet ever again.
that's the running gag right now is Huxley. And speaking about running gags, Jumpgate Evolution.
It's not a very good running gag if you say it's a running gag.
Well, that's true. So anything on
Ruined it.
Jumpgate Evolution?
I haven't actually heard anything on Jumpgate Evolution lately.
Okay.
They say it's going to be done when it's done, is what they say.
Well, that sounds like Blizzard.
Yep.
Except Blizzard's not working on Jumpgate Evolution.
No, they're working on 2 other games that you'll never see.
Oh, it's StarCraft Ghost.
Well, StarCraft Ghost is
Well,
number
it's
3.
aptly named.
Number 3.
I've seen
I
the
don't get about
iterations.
StarCraft Ghost is that there's been playable versions of StarCraft Ghost,
Yeah.
and you've never seen it.
There's
Didn't
been
they
two
just-
different iterations
Yeah.
of it. And they've
Didn't they
already-
shit can StarCraft Ghost?
Well,
Twice.
yeah.
Well,
I've seen 2 different playable versions of it, but just gone.
But now you can use the StarCraft 3 level editor to create your own crappy version of
That's
StarCraft.
oh, that's
Ghost.
excellent.
You'll be able to play that one.
Yeah.
If anybody's shit cans, it's going to be you.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, we've seen as much playable stuff of StarCraft Ghost as we have of Diablo 3. So there's your encouragement there, fans of Diablo 3. And Jumpgate Evolutions, they said they pushed it back by 6 months because they said it wasn't ready.
So 6 months
Just going to
later,
Nintendo.
yeah, well,
Fine tune it,
you know,
put out quality
there's
product,
something to be
hopefully.
said for that with MMOs, that's for sure. You have a shitty launch and you're kind of
But look
screwed.
at how many of them get announced every year
Well,
versus how many of them come out.
a lot of them come
it's
out,
like
but
a 5% thing.
if you have a bad launch for an MMO,
fucked.
you're screwed. I mean, it's nothing but bad press for the next 6 months. It's like, remember that really awful thing that these guys did 3 months ago? It's still awful, just not as bad. It's never, well, they had kind of an okay launch and had some problems, but they're doing better now. No, it's
you
never
never
that.
heard you never
like
heard, oh,
Auto
wow, what a
Assault.
turnaround. Yeah.
It's like Auto Assault, yeah. Auto Assault. We had the shittiest ass launch.
That looked
you-
like it was going to be a cool game, too.
Oh, it could have been, who knows? But, I mean, it lasted a grand total of 2 or 3 months.
I was like,
And then
wow,
went
Road
away.
Blasters, the MMO, this could be
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
is it like Hellgate London all over again?
Hellgate London lasted about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And you can still play the game offline.
Probably not a bad
And it came
run.
back. Somebody else bought it.
Really?
What do they call that company? It's the same folks that have the rights to run Warcraft in China.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 something or other. There's a different company. Blizzard actually
Take-Two.
outsources. No, it's 2 something. I have to look it up sometime. But Blizzard doesn't actually doesn't personally run Warcraft in China. They have another company that does the admin for it.
They just don't want the liability from cafe deaths.
Well, there's also that whole weird Chinese thing where you have to, have a half Chinese owned company.
Or
that's
something
just
like-
about in
yeah,
every
yeah.
country.
Well, also your zombies can't look like zombies.
Okay.
What's up with that?
Just
They had to
Asian people, I don't
redo
know
the
what it
character
is.
design for the zombie or for the undead in Warcraft.
Are zombies illegal in China?
No, they said it looked too grotesque or something. 'cause there was
Okay.
bones sticking out and crap. Like they're
Why is it
zombies.
Why is it the cultures that have the most folklore
Yeah, I don't get that
behind
either.
them that are the most scared?
Well,
Is that-
maybe the 8-year-olds that are playing World of Warcraft will try to resurrect a zombie or something.
The,
Because
the 8-year-olds that are gold farming for other people in
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Hey, they're making their 80 cents a day.
yeah, that was the banhammer that happened in Eve too. That was pretty funny.
Hey Chang, if you work hard enough, then you can get paper money.
That was a big banhammer too for the population that
Remember
actually
we used
plays
to
in Eve.
play as a corporation on there. We used to go after those fucking gold farmers, the bots. You'd see the bots coming in.
Yeah.
I'd go blow them up and steal their
Well, a lot of those
minerals.
guys got banned now, but a lot of
Hilarious.
the higher end gold farmers now they'll take freighters and they'll run them through 0-0, and well that doesn't
Like
really
black
end.
market.
That doesn't end up well for them. So, but
All right.
but now you have sufficiently powerful ships that you can one shot the folks that are mining and in high sec space. You lose your ship, because the what you call
Come
it,
after you.
yeah, the cops come after you.
Yeah.
But you still, I mean, they still just lost all their stuff and they get really pissed off.
Aren't the developers of Eve like working on a new game now or something?
Well, the
CCP.
yeah the developer house itself is working on the White Wolf Vampire the Masquerade MMO.
Is it vampire or is it werewolf?
it was a werewolf,
Is
yeah.
it werewolf?
I think so.
Couldn't remember because it's called White Wolf. So
That
Maybe
could be
that's
kind of cool.
well, maybe, though I don't really know how they're gonna do it because that wasn't really a stats like centric RPG. It was sort of like I tell you a story and you get to contribute type of
There
game.
were dots.
Yes, there were dots. I remember being pissed off because everybody started playing this game that had nothing to do with stats, and I'm like, God damn it!
We were playing that card game. I had Rage. I had fucking hundreds of dollars invested in that. Probably $700 or $800.
Well,
before it was done.
they all came out
That
at
was
the
a fun
same
game
time
to play,
as Magic and White Wolf
Star
all started
Wars,
putting out stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, except that people are still playing Magic. I don't know anyone who's playing Rage.
No, I think I sold my cards to a buddy.
Star Wars had some pretty good.
I still have my
cards.
original Star Wars cards though.
I don't think anyone's playing that anymore, are they?
I think they play the expansions, but not the original.
Hmm. All right. Well, is there anything else before we wrap that
No.
thing up? No. John's getting tired. Sleepy time.
Have some more of your juice box.
Yeah, you didn't slurp on your juice box this whole time. Yeah. You alleged that you were going to slurp through the whole podcast, and yet there hasn't been one slurp other than that one.
Want some Jello before bedtime too.
Yeah.
So, just for our audience
some
listening,
Cheerios.
John is now 100% juice for 100% kids.
Nah, he's juicing.
Yep.
He's
It's the
getting
only
ripped
way
for
to
the
get
show.
a good podcast out
Yeah.
of it, really.
I gotta maximize.
Oh,
my
this apple
podcast.
juice is expired.
Well, there's a lawsuit for Chipotle.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
oh, crap. My retirement plan down the drain.
I'm going to have to work for my money.
I have big
Damn.
plans for you, Nestle.
You're going to have Nestle goons outside your
I didn't know
apartment.
Nestle owned that. I used to drink these. I swear I never saw Nestle's name on them.
Oh, okay. Well, this is fascinating.
I love how the back says
Welcome
product
to
of-
the Juice Box podcast.
I love how the back says
Today,
product of China. Where's-
Yeah.
Your apples are being imported.
Today, Steve will be doing a review on Welch's grape.
Yeah, yeah. High seafood punch. Free sun.
If it
that
isn't
that
Smucker's,
might
well-
have juice in it. I'm pretty sure.
Indeed.
Yeah,
With
great.
a juice box like Smucker's.
Great. I'm going to have to do a Photoshop of just nothing but juice.
I think you should do Derp Derp Revolution.
That might take effort.
Yeah.
All right.
You
You wanna-
want something revolution?
Yes, we did France Revolution.
Yeah, it was one of our Million Amaro ideas.
Yeah.
Of which we are planning on doing that special at some point later on.
Yeah, me and John vote
Sounds like work.
that doesn't sound like a very interesting podcast.
It is.
It,
It'll be funny once
think
we're
it-
drunk.
I think it works better as a running gag.
Oh,
Well-
we should so do a drunk podcast.
We
We
have.
already
It's
did
called
that.
the arcade
It was the
special.
arcade. It was the arcade special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Or was I drunk?
It was only,
You were
it-
drunk.
It was,
Okay, yeah, I guess I did miss that one.
You got to listen to it again. It's really funny. All right.
I have been downloading on my iPhone lately to catch up since I've been.
You gonna push the button, Frank?
Yeah.
Here, or
All right. Well,
the worst moderator ever.
Okay.
Dr. Frank Forrester.
So, thank you for
Frank,
listening
Frank,
to
Frank,
Diehard
Frank,
Gamer
Frank.
Radio, the most professional podcast since that last one you listened to.
What was that one?
I got it.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.